The Slightly Irregular Fire Engine, or the Hithering Thithering Djinn. One morning in a recent year, a year not too long ago, the year 1887 to be precise, a young girl named Matilda awoke, stretched, yawned, scratched, and got out of bed. What shall I do this morning? She asked herself. I think I shall go hooping. This looks like good hooping weather. When she went into the backyard, hoop in hand, she was amazed to discover that a mysterious Chinese house only 6 feet high had grown there overnight. Matilda was disappointed. She had wanted a fire engine. Even though it wasn't Christmas or her birthday or the day after a day on which she had been particularly good, she had hoped, just a faint hazy hope, that when she went outside this morning, a sparkling red fire engine would be standing there. Well, a mysterious Chinese house is better than nothing, she said to herself. I suppose I'd better go inside and see what strange things happen to me there. Of course, this house is rather small. I'm not even sure I can get inside the door. At these words, the mysterious Chinese house began to grow and grow. It grew and grew until it was 9 feet tall and sprouted a Chinese weather vane on top, and there was plenty of room to go through the door. Plenty of room to go through the door now, Matilda reflected. There's absolutely nothing to prevent me from going inside. Nothing except those strange noises I hear there. From inside the Chinese house came strange noises indeed. Growls, howls, the whispering of elephants, the trumpeting of Jinn. I'm not scared, Matilda said. Very few people are as brave as me, and she walked through the door. Inside the pagoda were two fierce-looking Chinese guards. Good morning, they said in unison. Who, what, when, where, how? I beg your pardon, Matilda said. Uh, do you have a fire engine in here? No, but we have a rainmaker. Look behind you. Pleased to meet you, Matilda said to the rainmaker. Likewise, the rainmaker said. What do you have? Matilda asked. Not that you aren't extremely interesting, she said, turning to the rainmaker. Likewise, the rainmaker said. Well, the guards considered, let us see. We have Chinese acrobats. I think that the cat seller will be around before lunch. We have an elephant that falls downhill head over heels. That's rather interesting. We have some flying machines, although they're somewhat primitive. We have chicken chow mein, and we have a pirate. Do you want to see everything? I think I'd like to begin with the pirate, Matilda said. I've never seen a real pirate before. He's not in such a very good mood, the guard said. We captured him some time ago, and he's sort of restless. We tell him that if he just tends to his knitting, he'll be all right. So that's what he does, tends to his knitting. But he's used to a more active sort of life. The pirate, said Matilda. No interviews, the pirate cried, especially no interviews granted to little girls. Then, without dropping a stitch, he began. The sea was dark, 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 dark. We were 42 days out of Port-au-Prince, with a cargo of plundered chickens, plundered eggs, plundered silk stockings, and other plunder. A terrible storm arose, and a lady we had on board, a plundered lady, turned absolutely scarlet. Turn back, she said to the captain. Turn back, or we are lost. Turn back, the captain swore. God rot me, madam, if in this wind I can turn any way at all. But we turned back, and at the first crack of the box, we were overcome by a Chinese junk, 88 guns, all of the latest make. That is why, the pirate said, you see me here knitting. I like your beard, Matilda said. It's a good beard, the pirate said. I knitted it myself. I have them in 4 different colors, brown, 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 and brown. Matilda looked over her shoulder. Do you get a sort of a watched feeling? Just a Djinn, the pirate said. He lives in that jar there. Can I meet him? No, the pirate answered. Come along. A special Djinn will show you around. He's the official guide. Well, slap me if it isn't Matilda, the new Djinn said. Has the pirate been taking good care of you? Oh, yes, he has, Matilda said, but I haven't seen the fire engine. We don't have a fire engine, the Djinn said, although they're mighty attractive, fire engines, I admit it. But here comes the cat seller. That means it's just about time for the elephant to fall down the hill. Let's go and watch. He does it very well. The pirate came too. A great crowd had gathered and to witness the event. He's wonderful, Matilda exclaimed. An elephant and a half, the Djinn said proudly. That's not so special, the pirate said sourly. If you'd give me my cutlass back, I'd really show you something. Does he do it every day, Matilda asked. He is closed Mondays, the Djinn replied. And now, what else can we show you? For such a small, mysterious Chinese house, this pagoda certainly has a lot in it, Matilda remarked. We like it, the Djinn said. And this is where we keep our fabulous treasure, the Grey Room. We call it the Grey Room because it doesn't make us very happy, and particularly. It's very fabulous all the same, Matilda agreed. But here is something even more fabulous, the Djinn announced. Lunch. Matilda, the Djinn, and the pirate sat down to lunch. There was fried lobster, fried rice, fried snow peas, and sweet and sour ice cream. The Djinn gave Matilda a glass of wine mixed with a little water in Djinn fashion. After lunch came the entertainment. There were jug dancers and clowns and elegant fencers and every kind of flawless, flourishy footlooseness. If there is anything better than lunch, it is entertainment, the Djinn said. Fopderall, the pirate cried. If I had my cutlass back, I'd show those skinny ninnies something about cut and thrust. Would you like to have an escapade, the Djinn asked. We can arrange that. Escapades come in two styles, fancy and more fancy. What is an escapade, Matilda asked. An escapade is something you didn't expect, the Djinn said, which surprises you, pleases you, and frightens you all at once. Like a good dream, Matilda said. Or you could be something, the Djinn suggested. You could be grown-up tennis-playing, hat-wearing woman or a one-man band. The one-man band doesn't look too happy, Matilda observed. He began as a piccolo player, the Djinn said. Now, we'll have to give you a souvenir, said the Djinn. Would you like a barrel of pickles surmounted by a sour and severe citizen, or a statue of the chief of police, heroic style, solid marble? I'm awfully fond of fire engines, Matilda said. Or a popcorn machine, the Djinn went on, capacity 50,000 kernels, or an anatomical diagram. The anatomical diagram is anatomical, Matilda said, and the popcorn-making machine is useful, I don't doubt. But you wouldn't have a... I am tired of talking about fire engines, the Djinn said firmly. Just then, a voice was heard outside the pagoda. Matilda, the voice screamed. Matilda, 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 Matilda. That's my nurse, Matilda said. I think she wants me. Will you be here tomorrow? No, the Djinn said. We're taking a trip, all the way to Pernambuco. The house too? The house too. But we'll leave you a keepsake, Matilda. Some little something. It will be here when you wake up tomorrow. Goodbye, Matilda said. Thank you for the escapade. When Matilda woke the next morning and rushed out into the yard, the mysterious Chinese house was gone. The Djinn was gone, the pirate was gone, the elephant was gone, and the two fierce-looking Chinese guards were gone. But standing where the Chinese house had been was a magnificent new fire engine, a real Silsby. But instead of being sparkling red, it was bright green. The Djinn must not know too much about fire engines, Matilda thought, but green is a beautiful color too. And Matilda's father and mother, that gay and laughing couple, were very glad to have a bright green fire engine to ride in when they went out for an evening, and Matilda lent it to them whenever they wished. The end.